Welcome, everybody, to Mom Street USA. My name is Kate, aka Disney Cicerone, and I am joined by my lovely co host, Jacque, aka Wishes Mama. Tonight, we're going to finish our discussion of deluxe resorts at Disney, not only at Walt Disney World, but also at Disneyland. So we left off, we did a lot of the Magic Kingdom resorts, we did the Disney Springs area resorts, we did Animal Kingdom Lodge, and now we're going to head over to the Epcot area. Right, Jacque?
Yes. So we've got, again, a ton to cover tonight.
Yes.
So we're going to be kind of throwing all the numbers at you guys, talking about DVC numbers, those types of things. So very similar to last episode. So if you missed last episode and after we're done tonight, you want to catch up on that, that is available on our YouTube channel as well as on our podcasts, wherever you so choose to listen to your podcasts. So if you're looking for the kind of the other areas that we don't touch tonight, be sure to check it out there.
Yep. So I think we had, we were going to do Boardwalk in first, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So let's jump into Epcot area. So first thing we're going to talk about is the Boardwalk Inn. So Kate, do you want to give us a little background on the Boardwalk?
Yeah. So all this area that was developed in the Epcot area was all during the Disney decade, so Michael Eisner's era. He wanted to draw in popular amusement places that people go for vacation, or like in the United States, and kind of build them around the Epcot area, which is kind of interesting because it echoes a little bit, the World Showcase, but it's more like, Crescent Lake is more America's kind of, places they go on vacation, which is fun. So the Boardwalk Inn is included in that time when they were releasing all these in this Disney decade. And it opened in 1996. And the decor is inspired by the seaside districts of the northeastern United States in the 20th century. So they also honored Coney Island as much as they could in the design, particularly with regards to Luna Park, the first amusement park at Coney Island, which was then in turn inspired by Atlantic City's Boardwalk. So it's kind of like a combination of Coney Island and Atlantic City. And there's a ton of really cool facts about this place, but because we're going to keep this more of a planning show than it is a history show, I'll just mention there is a cute little mini carousel in the lobby that's from the 1920s that you definitely want to check out. And
So
I will limit myself there, or I'll talk all night about Disney history.
Well, and the thing that's so cool about the Boardwalk is it's literally like they took it out of that area, Coney Island, and just like plopped it down right next to Epcot.
Yeah.
It looks like that's where it belongs, and it looks like it 100% fits its name. When you think Boardwalk, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, I've got some photos that I will pull up. I actually did stay there during Hurricane Dorian back in 2019, 2018.
Goodness.
I don't even know when that was. But so I did stay at the Boardwalk, and I've got some great pictures from it, which I am currently trying to find. So why don't you go ahead and talk about cost, and I'll show some pictures while we do.
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff you're going to hear, again, is going to be similar to what we talked about last week with kind of the different options that they have at these deluxe resorts. Some of the ones we get to later will be a little bit different, but for the Boardwalk, they do have standard rooms that will sleep 5. You're going to be looking on average around $765 a night for a standard room there. Again, these prices are kind of the beginning of peak season. Looking around April is kind of when I price these out, so that it is a little bit on the higher end. You can probably get it for cheaper in off season. So standard room, again, around $765 a night. They do have studio rooms that, again, will sleep 5 people. Those are going to average around $800 a night. And Kate did give us some good DVC information again on this episode for these deluxe resorts. So if you're looking for a studio at the Boardwalk using DVC rentals, you're looking only about $405 a night. So it legitimately cuts that price in half, which is a really great option to have, an $800 room for $400 a night. So definitely, again, like we've been talking about with the DVC, definitely something to look into if you're wanting to stay in these deluxe resorts. They do have villas as well.
Well, I'll just mention that we did. If you want a full hear about how to rent DVC, we did that in our last episodes, which you can go check out on the podcast or YouTube, because we gave you all the details about how to do that. So
yep, and it's right at the beginning of that episode, so super easy for you to find.
Yeah.
So villas at the Boardwalk, they do have 1-bedroom villas that will sleep 4. looking around 1113 a night, so 1,113 a night. But again, if you're looking at DVC options for rental, you're looking at about 700 a night. So again, a huge savings if you're going to be doing DVC rentals for the boardwalk, definitely. As far as the features of the resort, at the studio level, you're going to see the same thing that we've seen at all the other deluxe. They've got the kitchenette with the fridge and the microwave, and they've got a balcony. So that is something that is pretty much standard at all those studio levels all the way across deluxe. So you'll hear me say that several other times tonight as we talk about some of the other resorts that we're going to get to. At the villa level, they do, again, only have the one bedroom villa. So you've got the one full bathroom with the 2 sink areas. So a little bit more space in their bathroom than you'd find in a standard room. The full kitchen with the living and dining areas, washer and dryer, and the balcony. So again, those deluxe resorts, washer and dryer, balcony, a lot of those types of things in those larger rooms you're going to find again. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to mention, I don't know if we were getting to the pool next, but I had the pool pulled up, and I'm thinking like I got to go find the original pool, because this is what it looks like now, and it's got like Mickey and Minnie, and it's really cute and fun. But the original pool was based on an actual pool that had a giant clown on it.
Yes.
And it was terrifying.
It was, a little creepy. Well, I'll talk about the pool and the food if you want to try to find a photo of that.
Okay, I'll do that.
They've got 3 pools in the boardwalk area that you can utilize. And again, Kate showed kind of the main pool with that slide feature. Food options are plentiful here because you're right on the boardwalk, and the boardwalk's got several restaurant options. So they've got Trattoria Al Forno, the Flying Fish, the Boardwalk Deli. There he is. There's the clown. I just want to know who thought that was a good idea.
I know, it's terrifying. I know. I'm like, I'm glad they replaced it for the children's sake, and maybe mine too, my sanity.
I understand, again, wanting to kind of pay homage to Coney Island and those types of places, but okay.
I know, I should have done a warning before we got up.
You're right, Kathy, that is awful. Okay, back to happier thoughts. Boardwalk restaurants. Abracadabra, the Boardwalk Deli, which is the new deli that replaced the bakery that was there. Tons and tons of food options there. Now, some of those are going to be a little bit of a walk kind of outside the resort because they're more on the boardwalk area. But again, within 10 minutes, you can be pretty much at, I don't know that I gave the number, 10 different options that they've got all across that area. So there, Kate's got a nice view that you can see kind of the shape of the boardwalk. And Kate, can you point to where the main rooms are and stuff? Because it's kind of hard to tell.
So it says the blue circle that you see, it says inn, and the orange one says villas. So you can see that the DVC one is the one with the orange circle, and then the inn is on the other side. So it's kind of split in half, one side to the other.
Yeah, and it kind of is situated almost behind the storefront area, so to speak, of the boardwalk. So if you've walked along the boardwalk before and you're like, well, where is the resort? I know, myself, I've done that. Where is it? It's literally just right in behind.
Yeah, and some of them the rooms are actually above those restaurants too, which, you can choose that as an option for boardwalk view rooms. And they do tend to be a little noisier. So if you've got kiddos that are trying to sleep, people might be out late on the boardwalk. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, because a lot of these restaurants are open fairly late, midnight, 1 a.m. sometimes. So that's definitely something to consider when you're looking at views. And this resort, as several of the other deluxes we've talked about, have different view options that you can pay more for, those types of things. The numbers that I gave you were literally just base level. But if you're paying for a specific view or that type of thing, you're going to have that upcharge for those as well.
Yep.
Amenities here, you're super close to the mini golf, Fantasia Gardens mini golf. They've got the Surrey bike rentals, fishing, tennis, the spa, so a lot of the same things that we've heard before at the other deluxe resorts. As far as transportation goes, You can walk to Epcot because you're literally right outside of International Gateway. So if you're not familiar with the setup of Epcot, there are two entrances to Epcot. One is at the front by Spaceship Earth, the big golf ball that you think of when you think of Epcot. And then the second entrance is called International Gateway, and it is situated in World Showcase between the UK Pavilion and the France Pavilion. So if you're looking at a map, it's kind of the right hand curve of the circle of World Showcase, so to speak. And if you exit right out there, you're literally right on the boardwalk. So that is where that is situated as far as in relationship to Epcot. So super, super close. If Epcot is your park, boardwalk is an excellent place to choose to stay because it's literally right outside.
I had a map. So
Look
you
at
can
that.
see Epcot's, you can see at the bottom there is where the boardwalk is. And then you can see where the river is. That's crossing over then into Epcot. The Skyliner is the little lines that you see. And then Epcot's over a little bit off the map on this side. So
Yep. So continuing that transportation talk, like Kate was mentioning, the Skyliner hub is right there. So Skyliner to Hollywood Studios would be the way that you would get over to Hollywood Studios. You can walk, if I'm not mistaken, from the boardwalk over there, but it's quite a haul.
yeah.
It's probably 20, 25 minutes, if I'm remembering correctly, to walk over there. But you do have access to walk to Hollywood Studios as well because they're fairly close to each other.
Yeah, and then there's also the friendship boats too you can take over there.
Yep,
So,
friendship boats. And then if you're looking to go to Magic Kingdom or to Animal Kingdom, you're going to need to take a bus. So those are your options as far as the transportation goes.
I have a couple comments from Natalie, who is a great travel planner. I really enjoy her content. She's stayed there, I think, pretty recently. She said the walk was 12 minutes to Hollywood Studios, maybe 15 minutes tops. So it depends on how fast you walk, I think.
Okay, perfect.
And then she loved the noise from their water view room. It was very therapeutic. So I think it, depends, I guess, on your style. So maybe if you like that. So
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so shorter than I thought. That's good to know. I couldn't remember for sure, and thinking if you've got like a stroller and kids, it may slow you down a little bit. So depending on your party that you're traveling with, walking may or may not be a good option for you. But that is kind of how you would get where you need to go. Do you want to talk about the room options, best rooms?
Yeah. So when I stayed here, I really loved, when I booked a standard room, I wanted to get something that overlooked the village green, so that some of those photos I showed you with the kind of like looking over, God, let me see if I can pull it back up for you guys, that looked over the water, like this. This one was one that looks over the village green, which is this like grassy area where they do have a lot of activities for kids. Sometimes they'll have character meet and greets. You can see like characters from your balcony, which is really fun. And a lot of them have these kind of partial water views, and you can see Epcot fireworks. So
pretty.
This one was a standard room. It wasn't even a water view. So if you can't upgrade to a water view, request the village green area. Really fabulous view. If you do standard, you might get like a parking lot view because there's a lot there on the back side of that building that don't look at anything. So just know that you're always kind of rolling the dice when it comes to that. Thanks, Marks, for those roses. Appreciate it. And then, so you, some of the advice, I think this one might have been from Touring Plans too. Like, they usually, you want to request close to elevators because the elevators are also near the lobby. So then you don't have to walk as far to all the things. And if you have, if you're in the boardwalk view, they say 5th floor or the highest floor in the building is a good option. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Perfect.
Those are most of those. Lem says there's a shortcut for the walk for Hollywood Studios if you walk through the pool area, and they say it shaves off a couple of minutes. So
Okay.
cut through the pool area.
There
Hot
you go. Thanks, Lem. Perfect.
Back.
And then I think we did have a note as well that if you are doing standard view, stay away from 71 and 73,
Yes.
those lines of the rooms, because they will have obstructive views.
Yes, thank you. I forgot that part.
No problem. I was just scanning back through like, okay, did we get everything? Because again, it's a ton of information and we want to make sure we're trying to give you guys as much as we possibly can. So
Absolutely.
perfect.
So do we want to, but I know that we kind of have these in an order, but do we want to stay in the same area before we hop over?
I was just looking at that too. So let's hop down to, I went too far.
Yacht Club, Beach
Yacht
Club?
Club. Yeah.
Yacht Club? Okay.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
We need all the shortcuts. I need all the shortcuts too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I have a couple of shortcuts when we go to the Disneyland resorts for you. So, but let's do the yacht club since it's in the same area of Crescent Lake. Like I just said, that these were all built during that Disney decade with Michael Eisner. Yacht club and beach club are sister resorts, so they share a lot of amenities and pools. They were opened, both of them opened in November of 1990. And I actually have more information on Beach Club than I do Yacht Club. Yacht Club is very like nautical themed, and it tends to cater more to like a business class. So it's more upscale nautical theme, if you can think about that. It has very, very subtle kind of Disney touches. So,
Yes.
not maybe like Mickey's not going to be in your face in that one. So if your kids love Mickey, maybe not their best option for that.
Yeah.
But Lem's excited for Beach Club. Got excited too quickly. We're headed there too.
Hold on. We're getting there. Yes, Kirk says the golden era of Eisner. Yes, we were talking about that a little bit ago.
We can discuss that later, Kurt.
Another time, another show.
Okay.
So
I'll
in
pull
the
up some
yacht,
pictures. You go ahead.
perfect. So in the yacht club, let's talk about kind of the different room options that they've got. So standard room is going to sleep 4 at the yacht club. So not that additional 5th person like we've seen at a lot of the other deluxe resorts. They do only sleep 4 in these rooms. Average of about 8-11 a night. Is what you're looking there. They've got several view options that increase that number. They've got garden view, woods view, water view, again, kind of like we were talking about with the boardwalk. Lots of different ways to look in this area, just because you're so close to water, you're close to Epcot, all of the above. With that standard room, if you're looking at DVC rental, you're going to be looking around $493 a night. So again, we're looking a little more than half than what you would pay kind of standard for that room. So $811 versus the $493 when you're looking at DVC rental. They do offer 2-bedroom suites there. They do sleep 6 people, but those 2-bedroom suites will cost you $3,345 a night. So $3,345 a night. I know.
I didn't look at those numbers before you said them. I'm like, oh my gosh. That took me by surprise. Woo,
Yes,
okay.
so quite the difference there for that 2-bedroom suite that will sleep 6 people. So the resort features at Yacht were hard to find. So like a lot of the other resorts have it listed, like they've got the kitchenette, they've got this, they've got that. Here, basically all I could find is that the setup of the suites is a 2 king, 1 queen setup. And literally that was all that I could find on several websites that I looked at. So I'm not 100% sure what all features the rooms have. So if anyone on either of our chat has stayed there and know what the kind of features in those suites are, that would be helpful. As far as food options, again, they are sharing their amenities with the beach club, and they are a short walk to the boardwalk. So definitely you've got all those boardwalk options that we just talked about, but they've also got Ale and Compass, Cape May Cafe, and Beaches and Cream are over on this side of the kind of boardwalk area.
Yeah, and I know we're running through all of those restaurants really, really quickly just because we've got a lot of hotel information. But I'm sure we will do an episode sometime soon about food because we're going to need to at some point. So maybe several because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to food. So
yeah, probably several. So
yes.
Hang tight for those. And if you guys have certain ones that you want us to talk about, send us a message. Let us know. Yeah. So pools in the area, again, these are all shared between yacht and beach. So they've got 4 pools. 3 of them are leisure pools. And then the main event pool is Stormalong Bay, which is a 750,000 gallon sand bottom pool and lazy river. So it is the only sand bottom pool. And that is a big draw to a lot of people that want that kind of bonus when it comes to the pool. And it is a 0 entry pool as well. And then they've got, the lazy river that kind of winds around that area as well.
I know. I've heard good things about the pool. Like if you are someone who just really wants a good pool during your stay, then this is a great resort for you. If you don't want to make your way to the water parks all the time, this is a great option.
Yeah. Abby says the steakhouse at Beach Club is good too. So if you're looking for some steak in that area, there you go. And as far as...
Lem says the sand bottom pool is one of 2 in the world.
Oh,
So there you go.
yeah. I knew it was the only one in the area, but didn't know that. So there we go. As far as the other pools go, each area has its own quote unquote leisure pool is what Disney calls them. So beach clubs got one, the yacht clubs got one, and the beach club villas have one. So either way, you're going to be close to a pool. You just may or may not be close to that main big pool that we were just talking about.
Yeah, and I'll show a little this is the map. And you can see that they're connected. So I know it's hard to see. So the yacht club is in teal and beach club is in orange. So that helps you kind of give a layout.
Yep.
And you can see the pools are just right in the center of them. That's why they share them.
Yep, exactly. And you can see the other pools are significantly
Oops,
smaller. No, you're fine. Significantly smaller than the main pool. But they do exist. They are there. So if you're just looking for a nice quiet place to go swimming, those may be the pools that you want. If you want, like we said, that added kind of bonus with the lazy river and the sand bottom and all that kind of stuff, you're going to want to go to that main area.
Yes, absolutely.
As far as the amenities go, they've got cabana rentals. They're, again, close to miniature golf, boat rentals, fishing, tennis, volleyball, all of that type of stuff. And Kate's got some good info, I think, on the amenities here.
Well, yeah, some of them you already talked about. We had Stormalong Bay, and there's an arcade. There's a health club, so a health and fitness center. Because again, and Lem also mentioned this is like a conference center as well. So it's a good business and leisure kind of place. They've got the marina, which offers a variety of watercraft for rental, including private cruises and fishing excursions. So you have that. And then they have that Shipwreck Beach as the lakeside white sand beach on Crescent Lake. So, and then movie nights and campfire sing-alongs, like we've talked about at pretty much all of the Disney resorts. So fun evening
Still
activities.
Worth mentioning because those are fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we mentioned it this episode yet. So.
No, I don't think we had either. I did want to go back because you've got some info here about Stormalong Bay that I forgot to read, but it's got the big shipwreck in the middle, kind of, and all of that with one of the highest resort water slides at Walt Disney World. So,
yeah, so I'm saying if your kids or you love the pool, this is a great resort. Maybe not yacht club specifically, more beach club, I would say, for kids, but just based on cost alone, because that's what we'll be talking about next. But
yeah,
because they really are sister resorts, they're just pretty much interconnected. Lem likes the pirate ship.
Yeah. Yep. And then transportation, same thing that we kind of were just talking about with Boardwalk. You've got buses to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, the Skyliner to Studios. You can walk to Epcot, or you've got the boat option as well when it comes to Studio, Epcot, and Studios. I was like, wait, where am I going? Too many things in my head. So kind of very similar when it comes to that. All of these Epcot area are going to have the same kind of transportation options because they're all very, very close to each other.
Everybody's all for the lazy river. Me too. I'm not a big swimmer, but I will lay on a lazy river all day.
That is a very nice perk to have if you're someone, because I'm the same way. I'm not a huge swimmer, but I would lay on a raft and just float along for hours.
We do that here in Oregon, but we just do it on the river. We just call it floating the river, and you just like put in one and you float down and then you get out. And it's like an Oregon thing. So I'm like, but it's a little more rustic than the beach club and the yacht club.
Just a little.
It's a few more bugs.
A little more pointy rocks that you could, step on.
Just a few, some rapids here and there. It's fine. We're fine. We just live life.
It's a bonding experience for you and your family.
Your kid might get swept downstream and out to sea, but who's counting?
It's good. It's all
anyway.
Good. Anyway, let's talk about the best rooms at the yacht club.
Way to drop back in there. Okay. So I will say that Beach Club and Yacht Club both have areas that they have some of the worst views, I would say, on Disney property if you're not careful. No. So you have to be like really kind of know. Hopefully you get a good one. If you get standard, again, it's definitely a roll of the dice. I know I have a picture here somewhere. This one is a Yacht Club one. This is your beautiful view of the roof.
Well,
it's like you're paying, and think of the cost that we just said that you're paying for that view, So take that into account, that that's always a possibility.
Yeah.
Is it, if you're doing the standard rooms, you might get that view.
You're looking at 800 a night for that view.
For that view. I mean, and I just feel like there's so many more places on property where you could get a gorgeous view for that amount of money. So
Yeah.
if a view is your thing, this may not be, or pay more, I guess, if you want a better view. But so the best views, let me make sure I'm in the right spot. Rooms with the best views are as follows. So fifth floor rooms with full balconies facing the lake with the boardwalk in the background. Club level rooms, it's like 5161, 5163, 5241. So, and then fifth floor rooms directly facing Epcot. Rooms are like 5195 to 99, 5153. So in that area. And then standard view rooms are the fourth floor rooms. Facing Epcot rooms are 4195 to 99 or 4153. So if you're in like standard, those are the ones you'd want to try to request. Again, as we always say, it's always just a request. We are not mean to cast members if we don't get our request. We always are very kind and understanding because they're just doing the best they can. So try to put in your request. One way you can do that is using touring plans. If you have a subscription to touring plans, they'll actually like fax it in for you. You just choose before 30 days before you go. You just pick what room you want and they'll fax it for you, which I think is great. Or when you go to check in, you can try to put some things you can request on there, but you can't get very specific necessarily. So
yeah, and a lot of the times if you're using a travel agent, they can help you out with those types of things as well. So if you're using a travel agent or, that type of thing, definitely touch base with them about room requests. You can do some requesting when you do your online check-in, but it's not nearly specific. If you're looking for certain room numbers or certain floors, things like that, you can't really put that in on the app. So don't rely on that. Make sure you kind of go an extra step if you're really wanting those rooms.
Yeah. If a view is really important to you or location in the resort's really important to you, travel agent, touring plans, there's a couple different other ways, but those are the main ones I know of to request.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so let's talk about Beach Club. So we were just talking about Yacht Club. Let's talk about the other half of the Sister Resorts Beach Club. And they are, like Kate mentioned, kind of like literally like one resort. When you look at them on the map, it's hard to distinguish logistically kind of which is which, but the theming is very, very different. So that's always helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. So Beach Club, again, was opened in November of 1990, just like Yacht Club. It is the Victorian stick-style architecture that's used in both Beach and Yacht Club, but it's painted very differently in Beach Club, so it's more white and blue, which I'll show you in just a second. And it gives off the feel of those East Coast neighborhoods just off the beach. That's why it's Beach Club. Stick-style design is hallmarked by an allusion to timber framing, frame windows, and paneled facades. These particular resorts were designed by the architect Robert A. Stern. The stick-style design is utilized to represent, again, New England cottages from the 1860s to the 1870s. So that's kind of the style of Beach Club. And if you want to keep going, I'll pull up a picture for you guys to see.
So standard rooms here do sleep 5. So again, we talked about Yacht Club is more standard with 4. This goes back to that 5. About $810 a night is what you're looking at for a standard 5 people room. They do offer what they call deluxe rooms, which is a little bit different than what we've seen. It's not a full studio. It's just considered a deluxe room, and it will sleep 6. So that is kind of another option that you've got, and you're looking at $1,032 a night for those deluxe rooms. They also have deluxe studios that will sleep 5. But it doesn't seem like there are very many, and I literally nowhere online could find any sort of price for the studios on here. So I will continue to dig and see if I can find it, and when we go to put out our infographics and information for you guys to have on all of the resorts, I will do my best, but I'll see what I can do. They also have villas that will sleep 4 to 8 people. They've got a 1-bedroom villa. You're looking at $1,493 a night. With that, if you're doing a DVC rental for the villa, you're looking at $840 a night. So again, huge saving if you're renting DVC points. They do also have 2-bedroom villas that average $3,171 a night. So 2-bedroom villa, $3,171 a night for that space. And they do sleep 8 in those 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, the and the theming here really is like you saw. It's beachy. It's not like overly Disney. So if you want more of an understated Disney theme, this would be a good option because it's more. And it's not even like the lobby like I showed you there with the chandelier. It's not terribly even that beachy in the lobby. It's not
Yeah.
seashells everywhere. It's just kind of more of a subtle theme. So
Yeah, more the colors and that kind of thing than the actual like decor that you'll find.
yeah.
So features for the resort, again, the studio level's got the kitchenette with the fridge, microwave, and a porch or balcony of whatever sort. The villa, they've got 1 or 2 full bathrooms, depending on if you're in the 1 bedroom or the 2 bedrooms. But even the 1 full bathroom does have the 2 sink areas, full kitchen, living, dining area, washer, dryer, balcony, all those types of things that we've talked about. I feel like a broken record, but I want to make sure you guys have all the information still.
You're gonna have it memorized by the end of this,
right? As I'm like typing it into our notes, I'm just like, yep, I got this. I know exactly what it is. For the food options, same that we kind of listed off before, shared with the yacht club. So you've got Ale and Compass, Cape May Cafe, Beaches and Cream, and then you're a short walk away from all of the boardwalk area restaurants
and
that we
Epcot
talked about before.
if you have,
yes,
so
if
you could go into Epcot.
Yep, if you've got access to Epcot. You've got all those options too. So a plethora of options for food in this area. We already talked about the pools. Again, same thing. They've got the sand bottom pool and then the 3 leisure pools in each of the areas. Amenities, all the same as what we talked about before. So think back to what we just said. Transportation again.
Same transportation as
Same
Yacht Club.
transportation as
next
Yacht
door.
Club. Since they are literally next door. Now they share a bus, don't they? If you're going to Magic Kingdom or to
I think so. Yeah, they share a
Animal
bus stop.
Kingdom. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they do. Don't quote me on that, but yes.
yeah, I believe that is correct. So if anyone knows any different in our chat, let us know. Lem, I'm looking at you because I feel like you would know if anyone's gonna know if you're still hanging out in here. So let's talk about best rooms at the Beach Club.
I loved this one. It's like, heads up, the beach club will charge you for a water view if there's so much as a bird bath in sight. It's from Touring Plans. I love that. If you're going to spend the money, get a real water view. So
I saw that on there and I was like, oh, that's good. That's good.
love the phrasing.
Yeah.
So the water view rooms with full balconies facing the lake, the good ones to request are odd number rooms, 2641 to 2645. If you have a suite, 2647. 3501 to 3507, 3699 to 3725, 4607 to 4623. I know you guys can go back and listen to this to write it down if you need to. Or club level rooms, 5699 to 5725. Now, if you're staying in a standard room, which might be more in people's price range, maybe those are still pretty high. With standard view rooms with full balconies facing the woods and Epcot, so you might be able to get some of those fireworks at night. Even numbered rooms, 2512 to 2530, 2578 to 2596, 3512 to 3570, or 4532 to 4596. And I feel like I'm calling out lottery numbers. So who won?
You get a room. You get a room.
You get a room.
Wouldn't that be lovely if we could do that?
That would be fun. Maybe someday we can give away free rooms. That would be great.
There you go. Yeah, someday down the road, and y'all can say, we were here when. Oh, Victoria said bingo. We're good.
Bingo. Yes.
Woohoo. Perfect. So that is kind of the Yacht and Beach Club in a nutshell. That gives you an idea of kind of what the offerings are there. Kate, do you want to go back up to Riviera before we go to Swan
Let's
and
do
Dolphin?
Swan first, because then I think
first?
Riviera, I feel like Riviera is kind of removed from there.
Okay,
So
perfect.
Let's
Let's
just
head
keep
there.
going. Yeah.
Keep going around the water.
Going,
So let's talk about the Swan and Dolphin Resort. Now, Swan and Dolphin is a little unique in that they are an on-property resort, but they are owned by Marriott. So they are not owned by Disney, but they are considered an on-property resort. So they do get to utilize all of the perks that an on-property resort gets to utilize: transportation, early entry, all of those types of things. So you can see, oh, that's a fun view.
I know. It's like a
Through
probably
Epcot.
Epcot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see it behind there.
Yes.
So the history of this, I could go on for a really long time, and I did write quite a few notes, and I'm sorry, Jackie, but I feel like
That's
this
okay.
is something people need to understand about the Swan and Dolphin. So,
Yep.
this again opened during that Disney decade in the 1990s. The resort occupies is owned by Walt Disney Company and is leased on a 99-year term to the Tishman Hotel Corporation and MetLife, who own the buildings and contract the operation to Marriott. So it's like there's a couple different companies in play here under the Westin Hotels Resorts brand. So both of the resorts are designed by the postmodern architect Michael Graves, who also designed the Portland building. If anybody knows anything about Portland, you know that building. It wasn't a he wasn't a Disney fan like at all. He thought that the idea of a four-foot Mickey walking around was creepy, and he didn't have a Disney. He didn't have any sort of like love for Disney films. Didn't have a favorite Disney film. He wasn't a Disney guy. So,
He's perfect
but
for the job, right?
so Michael Eisner thought he was perfect for the job.
No.
But he was hired by Michael Eisner because he knew that Michael Graves was really great at storytelling through architecture. That's why he hired him.
Okay.
So he wanted an architect who would tell a story. So I have the story of the original intent behind the design. Now, keep in mind that in 2002, they redesigned the interior and they've redesigned pieces of the outside where now it's like it'd be harder to see this design. But this is like deep Disney history. So just everybody buckle up and just hold on for a second. Okay, so
Disney Cicerone's coming out. Be ready.
so the concept for the Dolphin was that it was an island formed by a sudden cataclysmic event, an upheaval by an underwater volcano or earthquake. When the island emerged from under the sea, it lifted dolphins out of the water, and these are the dolphins on the roof. The banana leaves on the side of the building are the tropical plants growing on the island, and the mysterious black box, which I'll show you in a minute, was never intended for monorail usage, which some people think it is. It was the heart of the island, like Te Fiti, right? Te Fiti. It's the heart of the island.
Sure.
We can just connect it to Moana now. We'll all feel better. It's the heart of the island, which burst open from the sheer force of the event. Water went spilling down the outside of the building into the dolphin fillet, a two-dimensional dolphin pool, and then splashed over to the Swan. The railings and the curving landscape connecting the two hotels indicate waves moving from the dolphin and splashing up along the sides of the Swan. These are the waves that you see on the side of the Swan. Two swans were so entranced by this natural phenomenon that they alighted to watch it up close and were turned to stone. Ta-da!
Hooray!
Because everybody naturally intuits that story. Right?
Okay, but I like real question. Do you mean to tell me that those are supposed to actually be dolphins?
Oh, I'll have to picture the dolphin one. So this is that box. This is the like black, the heart. This is the heart of the island where it burst out.
So that's
And
the
then-
dolphin, if anyone lost track of where we're talking about.
And actually, and fun fact, the windows at the top aren't actual rooms, but the ones in the black box are. So something a little fun. And let's see if I've got the dolphins. Gosh, tell me I do. Oh, I have this one. They're on the fountains here. They look like fish. They're, I
Yeah,
guess
they-
they're
they look
Italian
like
designed.
Fish. Like they when you think of dolphin, that is not at all what that looks like.
Yeah,
They
it's
look
like
goldfish.
it's based on an Italian designer. I don't remember their name offhand, but then they have this is the fillet fountain. That's why they're two-dimensional because they're filleted.
No.
So, yeah, so that's the complicated, unusual backstory of the swan and dolphin. And now I hope you're not traumatized like I kind of am.
Oh man.
And I love
And
this.
now you know.
I love that he also like made fun of the other architects that were building in the area as he built. He was just a stand-up guy.
No.
So when he was building Swan and Dolphin, they were also building the Yacht and Beach Club right at the same time, and he quipped about it that it was the servants' quarters visible beyond the Swan and Dolphin.
Wow. Wow.
So I don't know where if Kirk is around, but Michael Eisner.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
I might have to bring it back up in Distery tomorrow, just for fun.
Just for fun.
Just for fun.
Tune into District tomorrow night, 8:30
5:30
Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Catch Kate and Kirk.
Catch me making Kirk really angry about Michael Eisner. It'll be great.
He's not on my side. He has not chimed in yet, so he may be elsewhere currently. So he doesn't know what's coming. Don't tell him. Don't
It'll be
spoil
great.
it.
It'll be a fun surprise. Okay, so that's the really strange, complicated backstory of the Swan and Dolphin. Do you want to go? I'll pull up some more pictures.
Yep, let's talk about rooms.
Pinocchio all over again. Sorry. Oh, sorry, everyone. Pull it together.
Don't open another can of worms. We don't need Kirk to have another sleepless night researching clothes on puppets and movies. If anyone missed what we're talking about, check in the archived episodes of Distery for last week's episode on Pinocchio. It was a good time.
It's a lively discussion about Pinocchio's clothes.
It was.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Whew, okay, let's talk about the rooms. So 3 different sections, and I'm kind of going to lump the Swan and Dolphin together. So we've got the Swan Reserve, and then the Dolphin. So standard rooms in the Swan, 4-people rooms. Again, operated by Marriott, so it's going to feel very much Marriott-esque inside of the rooms. 4-people rooms starting at $430 a night. So again, not really the price that we've seen with Deluxe. We were just talking about Yacht and Beach being around $800 a night, but they're considered Deluxe, so we go with it. In the Swan Reserve, they have standard rooms and suites as well, but again, they only sleep 4 people. Those start around $461 a night, and in the Dolphin, their standard rooms are about $368 a night. So these prices are typically closer to like a moderate level when you're comparing directly to the Disney prices that we've looked at. But they do consider them deluxe resorts for whatever reason. Not sure.
Yeah, and they are. I think we should mention that this is also a massive conference center in here as well. I've actually been here. You can see that at the top there. That big giant tan bar is a conference center, and I've actually been at a conference here, and it's busy. There's a lot of conference goers. So if you like people in lanyards, this is the resort for you.
Lanyard talk again. Here we go.
Lanyard talk.
Oh my gosh. Whew, okay. Resort features. Let's talk about food. 18 options in this complex. Again, a lot of that is because of those conference convention goers that want everything to be in-house so they don't have to leave.
So they don't have a lot of time, between
exactly.
things.
They want something
they need
quick
to get to stuff. You can see some of them.
So tons and tons and tons of options there. Short walk to the boardwalk if that's where you want to go as well. Not too far away as far as that's concerned as well. One of the highlights as far as food goes is Garden Grove, which Kate, I don't know if you happen to have a picture of that or not,
I don't
but
have it.
It is a restaurant that is themed and supposed to look like you're eating in Central Park. And in the center of the restaurant is this tree that's literally inside, and you literally eat under the canopy of the tree. So I always thought that was something that was really cool, and maybe it's just me, but I think that the theming of that is pretty cool.
It's pretty neat.
So that is one of the options there. But like I said, 18 different options. Perfect. Thank you. So it's just really pretty on the inside. But yes, tons and tons and tons of food options there. So
they also had I don't remember which one it's called. They had almost like a retro diner cafe thing. They had some pretty good food there.
Yes. Yep, they do. And because there were so many, I didn't even list all of the options, but again, 18 options. So, and those were easy to find. So even though this complex is not technically run and owned by Disney, you can still find the majority of their information on the Disney website, you just can't find like the rates. It'll kick you out to the Marriott website if you're looking at like prices for like the rooms and stuff. But all the amenities and the food and the transportation, that stuff all looks like it does for a Disney resort. So you're able to find that on the website. Brittany is saying they have a good happy hours at the Dolphin. Okay.
It's good to know.
That is good to know. So if that's something that interests you. Let's talk about the pools. They have a 3-acre grotto pool.
The pools are great.
They have 2 lap pools, a spring pool, 4 whirlpools, and a kiddie pool. So tons of pools over in this complex.
They have some really great pools. Like people say that that's probably one of the best things about this resort is their pools, because they're so beautifully themed, and they're not necessarily as busy as some of the other ones, just because there's, but they're just gorgeous.
Amenities. They have what they call Camp Dolphin, which is like a kids camp for ages, I think it was 4 to 12, that you can do. Kids can go do activities. They've got volleyball. There's the Swan Health Club. And again, they're close to that Fantasia mini golf area. Victoria says she's got a good rate at the Dolphin through Costco. So if that's something that you're interested in. I wonder, do they partner with Marriott maybe?
They must.
It might be something that you could look into as well.
You can see the grotto pool on this side.
Perfect.
How big it is.
Yeah, that's huge. Nice.
Okay.
And then as far as transportation, you've got water taxis to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, or you can walk to both. It's pretty centrally located between those two, that you've got about 10-15 minutes walk either direction. And then again, busing to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. So even though they are operated by Marriott, they do still use all of the Disney transportation because they are considered an on-property hotel.
Do they get the 30-minute
Yes.
the benefit too?
Yes, and they have like the same benefits that you would have for like dining and stuff as on property. So all of the amenities and the perks of being on property are granted to those resorts as well.
And the 30-minute thing that I'm talking about is 30-minute early entry into the parks before everybody else can get in for all the Disney World Resort guests. So that's what I meant by that. Should have been more explicit.
Because they're also considered deluxe, I would think they would also get the evening hours too.
I would think so too. I'm pretty sure.
So those are 2 nights a week. There are extended hours for deluxe resort guests in the evening. So they would be getting those benefits as well. Like Kate mentioned, lots of conference goers here because it is a big conference or convention resort. They do charge a daily resort and parking fee, which you get that parking fee at the Disney resorts as well. But there is also a resort fee that you are charged every day. And I think I saw that it was like around $30 a day, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. That can add up.
Looking. Yeah. Especially, I mean, if you're staying for a week, that's significant.
Yeah.
On top of then having to pay for parking. Excuse me. And I didn't see what their parking fee was. I don't know if they follow the Disney costs for parking, but if they do, it's probably like $25 a day, I believe, at the deluxe resorts. So
yeah, my guess is it's similar. But I need to look it up.
Yeah. So let's talk about rooms.
Yeah, this was way more complicated than I even put in the notes here, Jackie. And I was like, I felt overwhelmed by it, and I don't want to overwhelm all of you. So I just kind of picked like some that have some good views and some that don't. So east-facing rooms in the Swan. Let's talk about the Swan. East-facing rooms offer prime views, particularly in the upper half of the 7-story wing above the Il Mulino, New York Trattoria. From this vantage point, guests overlook a canal and the boardwalk with Epcot in the distance. So really nice view of all of those things. The worst view at the Swans are from the west-facing rooms above the 4th floor, which overlook the unsightly roof of the hotel's west wing. So you don't want that. The northernmost rooms in the wing directly above Kimono's restaurant are an exception to this, as their balconies overlook the pool and the beach on Crescent Lake's western shore. Rooms 680 to 691 offer nice pool views, so that's also an option. And going over to the Dolphin, the best views overlook the grotto pool on the far west side of the building. Room on the far west side of the first rear arm is a good one. These outer rooms have balconies and are more removed from the pool, so if you want it to be a little less noisy. Rooms on the inner west part of that arm overlook a bladderwort encrusted reflecting pool, which sounded really gross, but I guess is
Yeah.
supposedly good.
Okay.
Oh no, it says these aren't recommended, so stay away from the bladderwort pool. I didn't read the
Just
rest of that
say
sentence.
no to the bladderwort encrusted reflecting pool rooms. Don't do it.
Say no. Okay. No, and they also don't recommend the facing rooms on the next arm. It's just like arms to this hotel. So that's how they describe all this. And this is from Touring Plans. So shout out to Touring Plans for this. They have
Yes.
some great advice for rooms.
Yeah, and we've been using them pretty much all along
Yeah.
in all of the deluxe resorts. So they've been
Yeah, they
super
have a
helpful.
great tool called a room finder that you can actually look at. Like, you can find the map of the resort and go by floor, and you can click on the room and see a picture of what view it has or one that's nearby. So really great
helpful.
resource there.
Yeah.
And then finally, arm 3 and 4 are situated around a reflecting pool. The concern for rooms in this area is the ferry toots its horn every time it approaches and departs the dock. So if you really love the sound of the ferry coming and going, those would be your rooms. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Victoria, assistant Victoria, she said looks like parking is $32 daily, so more expensive than the Disney parking, and valet parking is $42 daily. So if you're looking at parking at the Swan and Dolphin, that's what you're going to be looking at, on top of, like I said, I believe a $30 resort fee. So
Yeah. Yep. So a little bit. So those, it's like those cheap airlines that you always feel like are going to be a great deal, and then they tack on a whole bunch of extra
Yep.
costs. Like, there's a little bit of that going on here. So
Exactly.
just be aware. If you get a great deal through Costco, though, who knows? Maybe it'll still be cheaper.
right, it may even out in the end. Perfect. All right, so I think we've got one left. Let's hop back over
In
to
Disney
the
World.
Yes, in Disney
Yeah.
World, to the Riviera. So this is one of the newest resorts at Disney World. It is considered Epcot area, but it is not that boardwalk area. So the ones that we just talked about, boardwalk, yacht, beach, Swan, Dolphin, are all around that boardwalk, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, kind of in between area. Riviera is considered Epcot area, but it is the other direction, kind of.
Yeah, so if you remember, we talked about Caribbean Beach Resort being one of the largest resorts areas in the U.S. when it was built. It has that barefoot bay, I think it's called, and it looks like a foot. And so the Caribbean Beach is kind of like around the heel and the sides of the foot, and then the toes is up where the Riviera is. So it's kind of at the toes of the foot
Yes.
for Barefoot Bay. So it opened in December 16th of 2019, which is maybe not a great time for them to open a new resort because a lot of things happen in the world right after that, but allowed me to stay there multiple times for really not a lot of money, which was great. And actually made this into, I think this has slipped into probably one of my absolute favorite places to stay on Disney property. It is gorgeous. If you like the bougie lifestyle, this is a resort for you. It is amazing. It's gorgeous, and it reminds me so much of like what it's supposed to, the French Riviera. So it is themed after Walt Disney's trips that he took. He took a lot of trips to Europe in his life. One of them he took just because he was about to have a nervous breakdown. So he went to Europe to just kind of like get away from it all. But he took a couple different trips there, and sometimes he took his wife Lillian. A little side note, I just read about how he was going to take her on a trip, and she was like, "Are we going to go to zoos? Because if we're going to go to zoos, I don't want to go." Because he would just take her to like all the zoos because he wanted to study how the parks work.
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
was like, I don't want to
not
go to
doing that.
zoos if I'm going.
That's funny. That's good.
So they have a lot of pictures of Walt Disney. They have a lot of things that influence stories for like books and fables that was inspired Walt Disney during his travels. They have something called the Voyagers Lounge, which they call it an artful gathering place. It's really just kind of like a place you can just relax in, grab some coffee or a treat or a drink, and go and sit down and enjoy. If you don't have small children running around you, so
Yeah,
always
always
keep that in mind.
have beautiful posters of like what you would think of as like standard Disney movie posters, but they're all from other countries, so they're all in different languages, and it's very, very, it's just such a fun resort, even just to go and walk around and walk down the hallways. Yes, it is
beautiful. Yes,
exactly.
And yeah, it's a and it is on the Skyliner, which we'll get to in talking about transportation. But they use that in a lot of their theming. It was supposed to be like their first intentional resort they built on the Skyliner line. And so they use that for these beautiful murals, and I'll show a picture of them in a second. They have two of them. One is Tangled themed and the other one is Peter Pan. And more than 1 million hand-cut tiles were laid by hand to create these works of art. And they're 20 feet in the air, and they kind of like go all the way around you like a big U. It's just gorgeous. And they have fountains down the center. I love that place.
Yeah, we stumbled across those when we went to Topolino's, and I hadn't done much research about the resort. And we were just like walking around outside, and I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
Because it's like just beautiful and literally like breathtaking. Like you walk up and you're just like, wow.
It's
so
gorgeous.
pretty.
Yeah, people who say like it's a generic hotel. I'm like, it's not on the inside where it counts. Like it is gorgeous on the inside. And what I love about those murals, and I never even connected it in my brain, is that they made those murals to celebrate flight, because it's the entryway to the Skyliner. And I was like, how did I never put that together before? So anyway.
Love it. So let's talk about some of the room options that they have. So this resort, initially when it was being built, I believe, was pretty much advertised as the DVC resort. And for the longest time, it was like, nope, DVC only. And that was the only people that were going to be able to stay there. That has since changed and fluctuated a little bit. I think largely in part to the state of the world shortly after they opened it.
Yes.
So the prices are a little interesting, and Kate and I were kind of messaging about this earlier. We've seen those huge savings for DVC rentals. You're going to see that the prices here are a little bit strange. So as Kate is showing us some pictures, let's talk about some numbers. So if you are in a tower studio room, which is kind of the room that sleeps the least, so we'll start there and kind of work our way up like we have been. Their tower studio is only going to sleep 2 people. So it's not a huge room, but they use the tower studio for that. That is going to average you around $781 a night. So again, we're back up to those deluxe prices that we had been looking at.
It wasn't that way right after, like, when everything reopened. That's how I was able to stay here twice, because I got a studio, and I want to say it was like maybe $1,000 for like the whole week. It was not that much. It was, so now I'm sad because I can't go back.
Right. Now that their prices are like actually deluxe prices.
I know.
So then they've got deluxe studio rooms, which will sleep 5, and you're looking at $1,041 a night. So $1,041 a night for that. And again, the DVC rental price is like $1,050 a night. So you're not really looking at much savings with that.
I think it depends on when you go, because I'm like, I think it might be when you priced it versus like what I found on DVCs, but I think you'll probably save a little bit, maybe even more than that.
Right. So, but again, like we've been talking about, the prices that I'm giving you for like the standard prices you're looking at like April, which is peak season. So depending on what the DVC stuff is at that time, you may or may not save some money.
I think these ones I found are probably we're heading into the Christmas season, and that's when I found them. So I think that's why they're kind of almost comparable.
Could be like peak season instead of just like peak season.
Exactly.
A little bit of a difference there. So again, right around that $1,040, $1,050 a night for that 5-person deluxe studio room. They also do have villas here that will sleep anywhere from 5 to 12, depending on how many bedrooms. So a 1-bedroom villa is going to average you around $1,410 a night. A 2-bedroom, let me hop down here. The DVC rental price for that is $1,166. So still some savings there from $1,410 to $1,166, but again, not as big of a gap as we've seen at some of the other deluxe resorts. The 2-bedroom is going to average you around $2,369 a night for the 2-bedroom villa. And if you're looking at DVC, you're going to be looking around $1,988 a night. Again, so
still better than Yacht Club.
Yeah.
Just saying. It's like half the price of Yacht Club. That is way better, in my opinion.
Yes. So Still savings when you're looking at DVC rentals, but maybe not quite the gap as what we've seen before. They do also have 3-bedroom villas that will sleep 12. Those are going to cost you around $45.28 a night.
That's a bit pricier. I'm like, whew.
Yeah. Resort features, again, this is my spiel. Studio level, you're going to find the kitchenette, the small fridge, the microwave, and a balcony. For the villa, you're going to find 1 full bathroom with 2 sink areas, the full kitchen, living and dining room, washer and dryer, and a balcony. Again, if you're staying in a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom villa, you're going to find more bathrooms with the more bedrooms as well. But even in the 1-bedroom villa, you're still going to get those dual sinks, which is always helpful.
Yeah. I feel like they wish they had 2 full bathrooms. I think Katie Moon said that earlier. Like, I wish they had 2 full bathrooms instead of just 2 sinks. But
yeah.
They do have 2 showers. Like, I know, like, at least in the studios, they had 2 showers, which is helpful. One of them with a tub, which is great if you have kids. So, that's helpful.
Yeah, a lot of the times when you've got the 2, that dual space, you're going to have one that's like a stand-up shower with like the rain, what do they call it? The rain head, shower head. Yeah. And then the other side is going to, have like the tub with your standard stuff. So that's good at least. Let's talk about food, because food here is actually a really big deal.
like this is the first thing, like one of the first things I ate. I'm like, let's get some gelato and have it on our balcony and watch the Skyliner go by.
So cute. So cute. Kate pulled some good information here for us on the food. So in the lobby, they have Le Petit Café, which do you want me to talk about or you want to talk about?
Oh, go for it.
Okay. So it is named,
my pictures pulled up,
after the Disney film The Aristocats. Offers coffee, baked goods during the day, and then becomes a small plate and drink lounge after hours. So kind of a unique feature there where they've got kind of the 2 separate menus for the morning and night.
They have amazing pastries. So if you love coffee and a good French pastry, this is your resort, friends.
Perfect. So let's talk about Primo Piatto, which is the quick service restaurant on the ground level. Offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks, and late night grab and go options, as well as alcoholic, non-alcoholic beverages. It is included in the mobile ordering and pickup, which is helpful. And we, 2 trips ago, we Skylinered there for dinner from
really
Hollywood
good.
Studios, because we're just like not a huge fan of Hollywood Studios food options.
Is anybody a fan of their options?
I mean, maybe.
Just
I don't want to offend, but we are not fans. So we were like, we need better food. So we took the Skyliner over and mobile ordered as we were waiting in line at the Skyliner at Hollywood Studios. And like we hopped off the Skyliner, I hit I'm here, and it was lovely. So
that's so good. I know. And it's like, because that's you roll right through Riviera if you're anywhere on the Skyliner line. Yeah. So it's such an easy place to hop off and get food
and it's not too far. You know, we talked about that Caribbean Beach is such a far walk to the Skyliner. Mm-hmm. Super close. I mean, you're walking less than 10 minutes to get from the Skyliner hub to the quick service restaurant. And
you get to see the murals on the way because you go right through them. So
it's perfect. It's perfect.
Nice.
Let's talk about the other end of the building, top floor, Topolino's Terrace, Flavors of the Riviera, which is a character dining experience. And
I think it's one of the best I've ever had. It's so
absolutely, good. 100%. Now, did you go at breakfast?
I went for the brunch, yes, and it was so good.
Yeah,
we haven't done dinner yet. But
we went at breakfast as well, and it was
so good,
amazing. And the cast members there were amazing. Like, I don't know what it was about. It was just so magical. And we even went during like the pandemic restrictions where like we had to stay at our table and the characters walked around. We didn't get to really interact with them, but it was an amazing experience there. The food was probably some of the best food that we've had on property. My husband had steak and eggs, and he said it was the best steak that he has had.
Wow. I had like quiche Lorraine with these like amazing like crispy potatoes, and my kids all had, I don't know if you had them, but they have like an artist palette with like dipping sauces, and then they had their waffles that are on like Mickey waffles on a stick, and then you can like dip them in
the cutest.
It was
so cute. Let me see. I know I've got
the brunch is a lot better than the dinner, but both are still some of the best. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It's the brunch is amazing. And so what they do is the characters each come out, like with any character meal, they come out one at a time, but they have their own little kind of like artistic spiel they do. And, an artist or a dancer, like they have their little like things that they do. And then they do kind of a whole song at the end with all the characters, and they come by the tables, and it's so much fun. And the view is gorgeous and the food is good. It's amazing.
Like, look how adorable.
It's so fun.
So they've got like the little dipping sauces, and then their little Mickey waffles are on a stick so they can dip with them.
Yeah.
And it's just so cute. And like, it was so good. And our waiter, so my daughter was under 3 when we went. And my waiter was like, 'cause, it gets a little, people get weird about like, do you order them a full plate? Do they eat off of your plate? That kind of thing. And so we like had talked to him about that. And he was like, oh no. And he like brought her out everything that my son had ordered too. And it was just a lovely experience. And it was just so wonderful. And the view from the top, when you go out on that balcony.
I know, it's amazing. It's
like,
that's some of these pictures I've shown.
My little babies. Look at how.
Oh, they're so sweet.
I know, they look so little in these pictures already, and I'm just like, where did the time go?
I think this was from my room, but not Topolino's, but it's close. It's close to this. It might be a little higher than this view, but that's the view you're getting. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, and this is from the balcony. Ooh, let me.
Oh, that's out over the river.
Yeah, hold on.
I mean, the
my
bay.
Mickey ring light is like right up in the way.
I think we have dual views. Look at us. We took it from almost the same place.
I know. Yeah. So like that is literally from the balcony at Topolino's. It's just an incredible experience. Like, most of the time when you do character dining, you're going to get a great experience, but like this one is the top of the top.
Because the food matches as well as the characters, and that's not always something you get. Sometimes you're like, the food is like mediocre, but we're there for the characters and it's fine. But you get great food on top of it. Yeah. We love to do as kind of a tradition for us, because we fly out. I usually try to fly out in the afternoon if I can. So on our last day, instead of trying to hit up a park when we're all kind of like packed and tired, we usually try to eat somewhere really nice. And that's what was our tradition, was Topolino's. And it's like the perfect thing to do to relax and enjoy your kind of final Disney moments. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So let's talk just a little bit more about the experience there. They do have fireworks show options at Epcot. So if you're there in the evenings, you can see those fireworks from the top of that resort as well. And Studios fireworks are also within view as well. Now they're a little lesser, Studios doesn't have a big fireworks show. They've got just a few fireworks kind of here and there. But if you're looking for a view of those fireworks without being in the parks, that is an option if you can snag a reservation. Topolino's is notoriously hard to get a reservation for. So that's one of those that you may want to enlist your travel agent or set up alerts or whatever you need to do to help you get that reservation.
Yeah, do it. But it's 60 days out right now, right? Like they keep changing it. 60 days out. 60 days out at 6 a.m. Eastern time on the button, or whatever time zone that is, wherever you're at. Mm-hmm. And
sometimes they open early.
Sometimes they open early, and also if you have one you really want to do, try to get it for the end of your resort stay if you're staying in a resort, because that you're more likely to get it then, because you have your resort plus like the day you check in plus 10 days you can book out. So that's my best advice for getting those hard to get reservations.
Yes. Okay, so now that we have gushed about Topolino's,
let's talk about... Have we sold it yet?
I know. Let's talk about Bar Riva, which is the other dining option here. Is an open-air pool bar that offers a collection of small plates along with a selection of beer, wine, and cocktails. If you guys were on Lem's Live Magic Bands and Trash Cans earlier today, they actually ate there. So it has a lot of really good options for food as well. And it's just their pool bar. But that just goes to show you the quality of the food at this resort, which is good. What sets it apart, really.
I would live there if I could.
Yes. So let's talk about pools. They do have 2 pools plus a splash pad here. So definitely some pool options for you if that's something your family is into.
I always think it's interesting that they have this big one that's kind of in the middle of the resort where literally everybody is watching you. Like, I'm not sure I want to swim in that one.
Yeah, like literally anyone who is coming to the resort is walking right by the pool area
And
because
or
that's how you
sitting
get
on their
to,
balcony and like
yeah,
watching you.
yeah. Because, yeah, so not only that, but then, yeah, anyone who's got an inward facing room with their balcony, they can see right down into the pool. So, that is what it is.
It's very
There is another,
picturesque though. It's
yeah,
like,
beautiful. So down in that area, they've got giant chessboard, or they've got chessboards in the courtyard lawn. They've got porch swings.
oh
They've
yeah, you
got
can kind
bocce
of see it
ball.
there. There's the chessboard down kind of in the bottom section.
Yeah.
They've got, yeah, the porch swings are so lovely too to sit
Yes.
on and just enjoy.
Yes.
And the bocce ball. I always see kids cartwheeling on the grass and stuff. It's very like European park
Yes. Yes. I
feel.
was going to say it's got a very like European village feel, almost that center little courtyard area. So really, really, really pretty. Let's see, transportation. They are on the Skyliner, like we had mentioned before, and they are one of the big hubs for the Skyliner. So there's your full view.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the pools were that close to each other.
Yeah, you can
I
walk
mean, it's
pretty
not a
easily from one to the
very,
other.
space-wise, it's a very tall resort, but not a very wide
Yeah,
resort.
it's a pretty compact, so you end up not walking
Yeah.
quite as much as a lot of these other resorts. So if
Yeah.
that's a priority for you,
So the Skyliner is just off the
this
side of the
side,
map
yeah,
this
you
way.
can't quite see it.
Yeah.
It's over here, this way.
But you'll be able to skyline to Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios is the closer of the two from the Skyliner, and then also to Epcot as well. If you're going to Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom, you will take a bus.
You can see the bus stop in the upper corner up here. I can't point to it because I'm nope, can't point to it because it's mirrored and I can't figure out what I'm doing. It's in
Yep,
the,
I feel
it's in the
that.
top.
It's
Trust
right,
me on
it's
that.
right there.
It's near the
Yes.
front. So there's,
Yes.
and it's a covered walkway, which I always think is really lovely. Not all of the deluxe resorts have that. It's a covered walkway all the way to the bus stop, so you can avoid the rain, which is really great.
And I will mention, because I don't think we've mentioned it this episode, but if you are staying at a resort that's got Skyliner, two things to keep in mind. One, if the weather is good and the Skyliner is running, there will not be a bus option. So if you're trying to get to Epcot or Hollywood Studios, Skyliner is your choice. Now, that being said, on the flip side, if the weather is bad, it gets stormy, the Skyliner closes, they will obviously provide you with a bus. So you're always going to have a way to get there, but weather dependent on the way that you may get there. And that goes for any of the Skyliner resorts. So we've talked about others in previous episodes. And I don't recall if we mentioned that specifically, but since we're talking about the Riviera, I will just mention that with the Skyliner.
Yes. And then in terms of best views, gosh, the ones that are the worst views, I'll tell you, are the ones that are on this side here. I did not like any of these. So this is the east wing. I would probably avoid the east wing as much as possible unless you're in the inner courtyard. I prefer the higher up rooms if possible. I did like this other side though that faces the Skyliner. We enjoyed that view because you got to see some of Hollywood Studios and you also got to watch the Skyliner station, which is really fun to kind of watch it load, especially with kids. I think that was really fun. You do get some parking lot views and things on the sides there though, so that's, but the middle I think is the best view because you get the water view and maybe even the Skyliner view like I showed you guys. So I definitely don't recommend the tower rooms because they're not a very good value. I think they only sleep two. They're very small. They're compact.
Yep. Yeah, those are
like
those
you're in
two,
Paris, but very
tower
small.
studio rooms. They only sleep two. So you're going to want to look at a studio or a villa if you're wanting to spend the money for a villa. But those are going to be your better options for your money that you're spending.
The tower rooms I've also heard are really very dim and dark. So it's like you don't get a lot of natural light just because of the way that they're laid out. They don't have a lot of windows. So it's just maybe not their best value for your money. But it's up to you. Live your life.
There you go. Perfect. Okay, so I think that brings us to the end of Disney World. So it's been a whirlwind and it's been a lot of information, but we are going to hop coasts here and head over to Disneyland. And Kate is going to give us lots of good information about the deluxe resorts at Disneyland.
Yeah, in Disneyland. So I think we have to start with the Disneyland Hotel because it was the first, but it wasn't actually owned by Disney for a very long time. It opened October 5th, 1955, so it was actually a couple months after the opening of Disneyland, which opened in July of 1955. And it originally was $15 per night to stay, which would be like $152 in today's money. So
That's
even
insane.
cheaper. Yeah, it was cheap. So it was
Oh
affordable
my
because that was
gosh.
what Walt Disney was all about.
Right.
They also had, when they opened, they had a doctor and dentist on site, which I think is just a fun little fact.
That's awesome.
And
I
they
wonder
did,
if that
that
was
was,
common or if that was like a Disney thing that he wanted them there.
yeah, I don't know. That I'll have to look up. That's an interesting, I know it wasn't common for the other motels in the area, but maybe
Yeah.
for more luxurious hotels.
Yeah.
Maybe. Um, the so their official grand opening, that was kind of like a soft opening in October because they only had like one of their build. They had towers. They only had one open. Their official grand opening was August 25th of 1956, almost like a year later. And it was one of the first hotels in the region to offer accommodations for 4 persons to a room.
Wow.
So really trying to be family friendly and have more people in the room. And they had in June 15th of 1970, they had an adjacent recreation vehicle park named Vacation Land that opened, which had its own pool and clubhouse, which can be seen as a precursor to Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground. So the idea for Fort Wilderness kind of came from this original one that they had next to Disneyland. So can you imagine camping at Disneyland in Anaheim?
Right, like right in downtown.
Like, not
That's
now, but maybe
crazy.
back then.
Right.
Because it was mostly orange groves back then. So they really could have that, you know.
Yeah.
It was the Rather company had owned this since pretty much the beginning. But Disney bought it in 1988 because Jacque Rather would not sell to him. He just like he wouldn't sell to Disney. He's like, no, like I have full ownership over this, and I'm never gonna sell it to you ever. And then he died, and then his wife died, and then they bought it. So they bought the whole company, not just like the rights to the land. They bought the whole
entire
company.
company.
Yeah, because they were pretty mad by that point that like they couldn't get their own property kind of back because because Walt Disney had asked him to build. He was in the film industry with them. It's a whole long story, but anyway, the fun part about that is when they bought the whole company, they acquired not only the Queen Mary, the steamship, the Queen Mary, but they also acquired the Spruce Goose, which now resides in Oregon, and I've sat in it, which is great. So everything's
awesome.
just tying it back to Oregon.
Perfect.
So why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about prices, and I'll pull
Yep.
up some of the pictures of
Perfect.
the Disneyland Hotel.
So you're looking at standard rooms at the Disneyland Hotel, sleeping 5 people. On average, you're looking. We've kind of got some ranges here: $622 to $785 a night. And again, these prices vary based on peak season, based on what their expectations are for capacity for the crowd levels and all that type of stuff. You've got to remember that Disneyland is more of a locals park than Disney World. So you're going to see some price variations there. So $622 to $785 a night. They've got a couple different options. They've got just standard view. They've got resort view rooms, which means firework view, and pool view rooms as well.
Fireworks if there's fireworks, because there's only fireworks on the weekends usually, not usually the weeknights. So
Yes.
just
Which I
different than
didn't
Disneyland.
learn that until recently, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean they don't do their fireworks?
They have them in the summertime, but because
Yeah.
they're in the middle of a city and kids have to go to school. So it's about local sound ordinances so the kids can sleep and get
Right.
up for school in the morning,
I mean,
which
fair
makes
enough.
sense.
Fair enough. They do have club level offerings at the Disneyland Hotel for around $1,000 a night. They do have a 1-bedroom junior suite option for around $1,155 a night. And they do have the Mickey Mouse penthouse, which
I
is
have pictures somewhere.
which is going to average you $5,179 a night.
Yeah.
So
This is like a-
$5,179 a night for that Mickey Mouse penthouse. It looks like they've got a couple different theme options.
Oh yeah,
for-
these are great. Here I have one for each of them. So
Perfect.
let's see. So we
cute.
had the Adventureland one. This isn't-
Adventureland.
Look at these. Like I'm probably never gonna set foot in this room,
Right.
but it's amazing. It's just gorgeous.
So pretty.
So they have Adventureland. They've got Big Thunder Mountain Railroad themed,
Love it.
which is so beautiful. And like, these are multiple roomed suites. This one I think is Pirates of the Caribbean.
So
they have
fun. Look at those
lots of-
windows.
I know, gorgeous view. And then
And
this one
the
is
fairy
definitely like
tale.
a honeymoon suite. It's like a king size bed.
Oh my gosh. Look
You're
how
definitely like,
pretty.
can you imagine getting married and then like that's
Oh
your
my gosh.
honeymoon suite?
Oh, beautiful.
Life goals.
Yeah.
Except I'm already married.
I was gonna say, wait a minute. Elliot.
Vow renewal, right?
Yeah,
That's
there
the
you go. There
bathtub.
you go.
The bathtub in that suite. Isn't that gorgeous?
Look. So
I know.
pretty. Yeah. So talk about theming those penthouses. However, at $51.79 a night.
Oh
Good
yeah.
luck.
And they do have these gorgeous, so this is what the rooms look like. And they have this headboard that lights up with fireworks that go off.
Pretty.
But that really is kind of like, there's also fireworks on the floor and there's some other little Disney touches, but it's, again, it's not like, doesn't scream Disney at you. It's
Yeah.
just kind of more subtle.
Which
subtle
is what we
touches.
see a lot in deluxe resorts. I mean, that's what we saw across the Disney World ones too, that yeah, a lot of them have Disney and you can tell that it's Disney, but it's not going to have giant Mickey Mouses all over the place. So it's just a different level.
It says when you enter the honeymoon suite, Tinkerbell flies around and turns on the light. That's fun. That one I hadn't heard yet. That's neat.
So cool.
I want that effect in my bedroom. Like, can I make that happen? That would be amazing.
Someone can probably make that happen for you, right?
I'm sure. Hire somebody to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about food options and resort features here. So food options, several options that you have. This is where you will find Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar.
Oh, yeah. I got the wrong one first.
Sorry, I'm going in the
That's
order
okay.
that you listed
No, you
them.
should do that. I just didn't have them in order. No, go ahead. Keep going.
So that is where you will find that here. Those of you that are familiar with Disney World, and when we talked about the Poly, there is also Trader Sam's at the Poly. So
They're different.
similar,
and they have
but
different
different.
stuff in them. Yes, and it's
Yes.
very small and intimate. It's very hard to get a reservation. You want to sit inside, and it has. But they do have the drinks that do kind of the effects, and they have a lot of things in there that are tucked away from other places. There's a lot of Disney history in there, and you could spend like an hour reading stuff on the walls, and it's amazing. So
Yeah,
it's
love
worth it.
Perfect.
It's really good.
They also have the Tangaroa Terrace Tropical Bar and Grill, which I think is the one you just had.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that is a food option. They've got the coffee house there. Do you have a photo for all of these? I don't want to go too fast if I'm
no.
okay.
that's the only
Goofy's
one I have.
Kitchen is there, which is a character dining option for you at that hotel. And then you are very close to the downtown Disney restaurants. So being able to access those as well for your food needs.
And weekdays, it's pretty easy to get a walk up for Trader Sam's. I agree. Yeah, a lot of those ones that are hard to get advanced reservations for in Disneyland, you can often get as a walk up reservation using the app on the day of. That is true. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and so then we also in Goofy's Kitchen, I've heard like kind of mediocre reviews of. There's another character dining that's in that we'll talk about that is in the Grand Californian, and I would probably recommend that one myself over Goofy's. But if your kids just really love the Fab Five and they want to be around those characters, then go for it.
Perfect. Pool options. They've got 2 retro themed pools
These pools are so cool.
and 2 water slides. So that gives you kind of an idea. Those are so cool. Like,
Monorail themed.
yes, I love that. Amazing. How fun. So they have an e-ticket pool, which is the monorail pool, and then a D-ticket pool, which Kate's got a note here for me that it's mostly lap swimming.
So there's kind of one for the kids with all the noise and water slides, and like more of the quiet pool, just like in Disney World. So
Yep. They've also got those poolside cabanas, which we saw a lot at the other deluxe resorts at Disney World, and food service as well by the poolside from Tangaroa's and Trader Sam's as well.
yeah, and I've walked around this resort a lot. I have not stayed there just because it is pretty pricey, and it currently is not a DVC resort but they are building right now. A lot of things are under construction around here, including they're building an entire tower of DVC properties. So I'm hoping that we'll get to do some DVC rentals and actually get to stay there at some point. But that it is currently like those, there's just not a lot of other options for staying more cheaply there.
Right.
I was going to show a map to, where did I put it? Just kind of an overview. I meant to show this at the beginning of kind of where these hotels are in relation to all these things. Sorry, I didn't warn you about this.
No,
so you can see the Disneyland Hotel's the red one. Let me tilt this here this way. There we go. So the Disneyland Hotel's there. If you look all the way on this other side, this is where the parks are, where those stars are. So Disneyland is on the top and the California Adventure's on the bottom. So you can see Disneyland Hotel is not terribly close to the parks. It's actually a little bit of a walk. There is a monorail that will go to Tomorrowland. But you know, sometimes they can wait a really long time for that. So, and it's not, it used to be go all the way to the hotel, but then they adjusted Downtown Disney and they built another tower, and so now it just goes kind of next to the hotel. So there is transportation, but it's, you know, and sometimes it doesn't run if it's really hot because there's no AC because it's from 1959, the Alweg monorail. So
love it. Yeah, so that is transportation if you're looking at kind of how to get over to the parks. Ahead. Nope, you're good. You're good. Hey, we're still getting the information out. That's what's important. So monorail, like Kate said, to Tomorrowland, walking through Downtown Disney to the resorts. You can use the California Adventure entrance through the Grand Floridian as well. Not Grand Floridian, Grand Californian. Sorry. Force of habit.
Yes. I know. Well, they're kind of named after each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can use, you'll see on this map, where's the best place to look for it? Where can I point out? Okay, where it says Grizzly Peak. So there's the orange part, and there's, if you follow it over, it says Grizzly Peak. Right around there is where the entrance is from the Grand Californian into the California Adventure Park, and it's a private entrance, but it is good for anybody who stays at a Disney hotel is allowed to use that entrance. And usually they make you show proof that you're at that hotel in order to use that entrance. But I also found that if you're, well, no, I'll talk about that later. So yeah, so you can use that entrance, which actually in the mornings is actually more congested than the front entrance, and it can have a really, really long line. So I don't always recommend it if it's first thing in the morning. But there are other times of the day, if you want to walk through the Grand California and use it, it's a nice entrance, or midday. So
there you go. Yeah. So let's talk about a couple of amenities here at the Disneyland Hotel. You do get that early entry to parks, so 30 minutes before opening, so similar to what they do at Disney World, they have for there. They have a Tenya Stone Spa. That sounds exciting.
It's really nice.
And room service options available as well, which, you know, at Disney World, you don't really get much room service, especially post-pandemic.
I know, right?
You don't really get that option. They do have the next day package delivery for the parks or Downtown Disney. So that is something they used to do at Disney World, but I don't think they've brought that service completely back yet. But it's a whole lot closer. So I can imagine that Disneyland, it's a little bit easier for them to manage that.
Yeah, they don't have to drive it all over creation. Yeah, it is nice because if you buy something big or bulky or whatever and you don't want to carry it back to your hotel, you can just have them ship, they'll bring it back to your hotel. Usually you have to go pick it up at a specific desk or something like Bell Services.
But even
and
still,
they'll hold it for you. Yeah. It's nice to not have to carry it all the way back.
Yeah. As far as parking there goes, it is self-parking for $35 overnight. And the parking area is only convenient to the Fantasy Tower, and others are a long walk from that parking space.
Yeah. I do see a comment that as a Magic Key holder and former AP, I've never been asked for proof of staying at the hotel. I have several times. So, and I am also an AP. So, it's I don't know. Sometimes they check and sometimes they don't. So, you know,
it could depend on how busy, you know, what season you're there during, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes they just might not need to check because there isn't that many people there, and sometimes they might. So it depends.
A couple other amenities. They do have mini fridges in their rooms. And they do have electric vehicle charging stations. Very modern, very fancy.
I know. That's California. So that just makes sense.
Yep. And then coming soon, it looks like Disneyland is going to be offering preferred dine access. So Kate, do you want to chat a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, I looked into that a little bit because I don't often stay at the Disney hotels these days, just they're so spendy. But they're going to offer Disneyland Resort hotel guests access to a limited number of reservations at select hotel table service restaurants during the dates of your hotel stay. So it sounds like to me they're just figuring out a way to reserve some tables for people who are actually staying in the hotel versus people who are just making reservations that are locals or coming in and staying somewhere else. They're just going to make some available for them so that they actually have a place to eat during their stay, which sounds like they should have done that along. They should do that for all the hotels, probably.
Yeah.
You know, like that makes sense. So
Right, for sure, for sure. So those are kind of your amenities and kind of that information. Best rooms. Let's see. We are looking at in the Fantasy Tower are going to be your best room options, and the higher the better.
higher the better. And just remember right now that there's a lot of construction going on. So if you're going in the next, I think that they're supposed to open up the DVC area sometime in 2023. I don't know if there's an exact date for that yet, but it's going to be going on for a little while. So just be aware there's going to be some construction noise. Also, there's the connecting doors. This was built a really long time ago, and some of these connecting doors are not soundproof. So keep that in mind too. Your neighbor might be able to hear you, and vice versa. That's just unfortunately part of those older rooms. Sometimes you can get a magic key holder discount. So if you are someone who has that magic key pass, look for some discounted rooms. And then, like I said, those that 350 DVC rooms are opening hopefully sometime in the next year. We'll see. They'll add some capacity because they need it.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Perfect. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, the Disneyland Hotel. Let's see. Let's hop
Yeah.
over to the Grand Californian.
The Grand Californian, which actually is always the place I recommend people stay if they're going to splurge on a Disneyland hotel. I kind of prefer the Grand Californian mainly because of its location. It's really, really close to the parks, and it's so close that it overlooks most of California Adventure. So a lot of the rooms on one side, you could get a view of not only the parks, some of them actually have a view of World of Color, and you can put the music on your TV and watch World of Color from your balcony, which is just
So cool.
wonderful. So
Yeah.
it was opened in January 2nd of 2001, and then they added the DVC wing in 2009. It's the fourth largest hotel in Orange County, so it is not a
Wow.
small hotel. It is big, really big. And it reflects the Grand Californian in name, but it's closer to the design of the Wilderness Lodge. So if you're a Disney World person, you can kind of think it's very Northwest kind of themed. It's got the American Craftsman style, and then the Craftsman style buildings often use garden themes, which was Peter Dominic's inspiration for the hotel's forest theme. The reception hall is based on the interior of the Swedenborgian Church. I might have mispronounced that, sorry. Church in San Francisco. And some of the hotel rooms are tributes to various craftsman era architects and designers such as Frank Lloyd Wright, Charles Rennie Mackintosh, and Gladding McBee and Company. So they really leaned heavily into the craftsman style for all of this, and I'll show you some pictures as you go through the prices for this.
Perfect. Tons of options here. So this I feel like as I was looking through kind of the Disneyland stuff, this feels the most similar to a lot of what I was looking at for Walt Disney World when I was doing all of that kind of research.
Yeah.
They do have standard rooms that will sleep 5, an average of around 818 to 977 a night. Again, so that ranges based on peak season, what time of year, all that type of thing. They do have club level options for those rooms. You're looking at 1424 to 1547 a night. So we've talked a little bit about club level and kind of what goes with that in our last episode. If you missed that, basically just some extra perks with that club level. You've got, access to some free beverages, snacks, kind of your own concierge, those types of things for club level. They've got they've got a couple different suites. 1-bedroom suites are going to average you around $1868 a night. 2-bedroom suites are going to average you around $2170 a night. 3-bedroom suites are going to average you around $2483 a night. So different options with those suite levels. I would imagine those probably sleep similar to what we saw at Disney. So you're going to sleep up to probably about 12 people 9 to 12 people, depending on the makeup of those. They also
That's kind of what
offer,
the suites look like.
perfect. They also offer signature suites.
This is the signature suites. Yeah.
Yep, and those are going to run you anywhere from 64.46 a night all the way up to 95.68 a night. So 9,568 a night. So plan accordingly.
And you can see why.
That's what you want to do.
It's gorgeous windows and
Yes.
it's
Mass amounts of
it's
space.
luxury
and, yeah.
accommodations.
Yes.
It's a lot though.
Yes. Now, if you're looking at DVC, like Kate had mentioned, they, just added some DVC accommodations here not that long ago. So DVC, if you're looking at a studio, you're going to be looking around $9.92 a night. So that is an option for DVC, and they have villas for DVC as well that are one bedroom villas around $10.92. And they also have 2-bedroom villas, which will sleep 9 around $24.08 a night. So sorry for all of the numbers, but that's just kind of, what we've got to dish out here. So tons of options, several DVC options, several standard options as well, but all very firmly in that deluxe price range.
Yeah, and the DVC villas are really like the wing that's in the bottom here-ish. That's more the DVC properties. So they get some of the best views because World of Color is in that water that you see at the bottom of the screen. Mm-hmm. That's where World of Color is. So you get a lot of great views of World of Color. So I highly recommend renting DVC if you don't own, but you do have to book it probably at least like 11 months in advance is when it opens, and I would do it then because unless you can get a designated confirmed somebody already booked it and then gave it up. Sorry, my kids are being really loud. Like unless you can get a designated reservation, you might not be able to get a reservation there by renting otherwise. So plan far in advance if you really want to rent points to stay there.
Yes. And again, you're going to see a decent savings with those price points. So definitely something to look at. But also, I should mention on here from what it looks like, and Kate, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the villas and studios are only available for DVC. Is that correct?
The villas and studios, yes. Mm-hmm. They're just DVC. Yeah.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's just the standard.
We talked about the
and
suites and the
things.
standards and those prices, but for those studio and villas, you're only looking at DVC. So you're either going to own DVC or you're going to be renting DVC to be able to stay there.
This is the entrance from if you're in California Adventure and you're looking to go into the resort. This is what the entrance looks like in Grizzly Peak.
It's very like Adventureland entrance.
Yes,
that's what it makes me think of.
It's very like Northwest themed, but it's super convenient. If you're in the hotel, it's like you just 1 second you're in the parks and the next second you're in the hotel. Yeah. It's such a unique experience, which I love.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about food options. You've got 10 different options across this resort. A couple highlights here. Storytellers Cafe, which is character dining, is located here.
Yeah, that's like... They have a lot of tales, like I want to say, I'd have to look, but they have it's themed after, I'm pulling this out of my brain. I want to say it's like, they have like Johnny Appleseed, like American Fables, it's kind of like what it's themed after on the walls. But I think there's other things too. I'd have to look it up. I'm sorry, I don't want to give you right information, but they do have really good food and good character dining here. So I would recommend it for that.
Perfect. And then a couple other options to highlight: the Hearthstone Lounge.
That's in the lobby. So like this giant, not this, I think there's a fireplace on the other side, but you would, in the lobby, you can enjoy some drinks and the ambiance. And they also have a really big gingerbread house there that, just like the Grand Floridian. Gosh, I'm doing it too.
I know.
You can see. I thought I had a picture of it. Where did it go? Anyway, here it is. So they actually make one of the hotel itself. It's cut off at the top, but you get the idea.
Oh, like a straight up replica.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
of cool. The craftsman style. It smells so good. So they make that in the lobby for Christmas time.
How
which is
cute.
Great.
A couple other highlights of food options: the Craftsman Bar and Grill, which is their poolside dining area. And then also the Napa Rose and Chef's Counter there.
Oh yeah, I gotta talk about that for a second.
Go
so
for it.
I will say, John Jay said that if you ever need to escape the crowds at DCA, so that the one we just talked about that's by the pool side is great. It used to be the Grand Californian Grill, and now they've renamed it. But it's a great place to sit down and do quick service. So yes, and I don't think you can get into the pool area unless you are a guest of the hotel, but you can sit in the quick service area. But so Napa Rose, I will go really quickly through this because I just have to mention this in this episode. They have something that is went away for a little while, and I think it's back. As far as I know, it's back from all the research I've done. Is called the Chef's Counter, and now I believe they only do it on the weekends right now, and maybe just one seating. But you actually get to sit at the counter. I have a picture of Elliot and I doing it because it was like the best night ever. Aww. So you get to sit at the counter looking into the kitchen, and the chef comes over and they make a menu for you based on what you like.
That's amazing.
So you don't order off the menu. They make a customized menu, and you can actually chat with the chefs. Like the head chef, like this is my view looking into the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
And you can talk with the people like as they're preparing food. You can ask them questions. Sometimes I just left them alone. I was like, they're hard at work. I don't want to bother them. But they were really nice to answer all our questions. And they made us like some of the best food I've had in my life. And it was all catered to my taste. Like they said, like, do you like this? Do you have any allergies? And it was like the whole meal was like $150 per person, which Disney prices for a like custom made meal, really not that big a deal.
Good. Yeah.
Like Napa Rose is our Victoria and Albert's. Yeah. And it's the Chef's Counter, though, there's not that many seats, and you have to get it. Did I put notes on there on how to get it? I don't know if I did. I probably didn't.
I don't.
So I want to say, I'd have to go back and say, but it's a certain amount in advance, and you have to do it like midnight. You leave a message. It's like, it's complicated. I'll put it in the show notes for the podcast. I'll put it on Discord for you guys for how to get it. But you got to plan in advance for it. You got to call the restaurant directly. That's the only way to get it. But it's worth the experience, especially if you have an anniversary.
They have space for you.
Yes, because it's like 6 or 8 seats. There's not that many, so that's all they got. So
that's really
really
cool,
great
though.
for an anniversary or special occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's
Super
Napa Rose.
cool.
Napa Rose is an amazing restaurant in itself. So if you just got to eat in the regular restaurant, it's great. But Chef's Counter in particular is like bucket list for Disney people.
Very cool. Very, very cool. I had no idea. So there you go. I'm learning things too. All right, so let's talk about the pools. They've got 3 pools at the Grand Californian. The Fountain Pool, the Redwood Pool, and the, if I can read,
Mariposa.
I was like, if I can read what I'm supposed to be reading right now. The Mariposa Pool. So 3 different pool options there for you.
And they do have it's like a redwood themed water slide. It's like go in a tree and slide down. So it's
cool.
it's fun.
Yeah.
And
that same theme as we've been talking about.
Sorry, my kids are being super loud and it's being really distracting. I'm sure you guys can all hear them in the background. It's great. Oh, I kind of have a picture of the pools. You can get a little picture through the trees there. You can see like the evergreens, the Northwest theme is really tied into a lot of this resort. And they even have these little courtyards where the monorail does it runs through this resort, but it doesn't stop there at all. So you can have a view of the monorail going through here's a good example. Like you can watch the monorail go by,
but it doesn't stop there.
It doesn't stop there. The only stops it has is in Downtown Disney and Tomorrowland. So it runs like through California Adventure in a big loop, but it doesn't stop at all. Which I always thought was interesting too. Like, why didn't they add a stop?
Yeah.
Probably because it's not really meant for transportation. It's more of just an attraction.
Right.
I always say that the Disney World one is like public transportation, like mass transit.
Yeah.
The Disneyland one is like a cute ride you go on.
Yeah. Yeah. Different purposes for sure.
Very different.
So let's talk about some amenities. We talked and Kate mentioned about the private entrance to California Adventure. That any Disney resort guest can use with that. So you heard her chat about that earlier. Again, early entry to the parks 30 minutes before opening. Again, kind of the same things that we saw previously. Oh, sorry, my computer just like scrolled on me. The Tenya Stone Spa, room service, package delivery. Again, that self-parking, $35 a night. Electric vehicles, all that good stuff. So mini fridges, and then the Kate mentioned about the preferred dine access. That will be coming soon for Disneyland Resort Hotel guests.
Yeah, and the transportation really is just walk to the parks. Literally walk like right into the park or walk out a little bit and down and then into the park. It's very, very close. You do have to walk through downtown Disney a little bit to get to Disneyland or the front entrance of California Adventure, but it's not very far and it's very, very close. Especially if you're used to Disney World. It's very, very close.
Love it.
I'm trying to think of an example for Disney World, like how close it would be. Like if you put the Contemporary even closer to the Magic Kingdom,
Yeah.
that would be how close it is.
Right. So a closer walk from there than it would be like from the Contemporary to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Very
cool. Yeah. So that's why I recommend that one.
Yeah.
I do, for room views that I recommend, usually the higher the better in this resort, because otherwise the trees that surround the hotel, like I showed in those pictures, will really just block your view. So you won't see a whole lot. You'll see a lot of trees. So if you like trees, have that. But if you're looking for a Paradise Pier view, for a studio, like 6504, somewhere around there, and 6502 for one bedroom, so they're kind of near each other. For DVC, also 5508 is also a good option. So that will get you that Paradise Pier, Pixar Pier now. It used to be Paradise Pier. Sorry, I'm living in the past. So the Pixar Pier, where you see World of Color. They just keep changing the name on me. I would also say I would probably try to avoid the downtown Disney view rooms because they can be really noisy overlooking the people. Unless you love people watching and that's your thing, then go for it. But they can be very, very noisy overlooking downtown Disney. So
There you go. All right, so I think that's everything that we've got for the Grand Californian. Let's hop now to Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel, or
our
Pixar Place Hotel.
It's becoming Pixar Place Hotel.
Yes.
It's still Paradise Pier Hotel. This opened in 1984, which was a great year. The Emerald Hotel of Anaheim. So again, it was not a Disney hotel when it opened. It eventually became the Pan Pacific Hotel. Also not Disney owned until 1995. That's when Disney purchased it. And then they changed its name to the Disneyland Pacific Hotel. And as the park expanded into resorts in 2001, it acquired its current name as it overlooks Paradise Pier, which is now Pixar Pier, which would make sense then. They're changing it to Pixar Place. So they just keep changing the name. They alter it a little bit every couple years. And it did overlook, now it overlooks the Paradise Gardens Park area. But I have a question. I'm sorry, what's the experience called to get at Napa Rose? The chef's counter. Sitting at the chef's counter is what it was called. So anyway, more about Paradise Pier. I'm going to get this all confused. It's a really, a fun thing about it is that it's really has an oddity that it has a 13th floor, which if you know anything about history of hotels in the United States, that's a rarity because it's considered an unlucky number. So if you really want to have your Tower of Terror moment, Paradise Pier is the place to be.
Love it. Love it. Let's talk about prices and room options. So standard room is going to sleep 5, and you're looking at an average of $488 to $590 a night. Again, that range just comes from when you go throughout the year, peak season, off season, those types of things, weekends, weekdays, all that. They've got one bedroom. Kate, are these suites?
Kind of. They're one bedroom. Yes, sort of. I have only seen pictures of them. I've never actually stayed in them. So this is what it looks like. If that helps you. This is kind of like the suite.
Okay.
So it looks like it's like a living
similar
area,
to like the
bedroom.
suite views or the suite vibes that we've had before. So a one bedroom is going to cost you around $1,075 a night. A 2-bedroom, you're looking at, wait a minute, $488 to $590. Why is that cheaper? Hold on. Hold on.
Then I maybe I put them backwards.
I think
I did it at like 3
I think
a.m.
you copied
So
and pasted it. So 2-bedroom is not that. 2-bedroom is going to be more than the 1075 a night that we
yeah,
said for the
I
one
didn't do
bedroom.
that. Sorry, I think I
That's
skipped that
okay.
one.
We will get that information out to you guys when we get those infographics out for you guys.
It was
Sorry
like
about
3
that.
a.m. when I finished that project, so I don't know.
You get the gist. You guys know. I'm guessing it's going to run you
It's
around
more.
1,800 a night if it kind of follows suit of what those other rooms have done. And again, they have those signature suites here that are going to be anywhere from 2,702 to 3,086 a night for those signature suites at this resort.
You can kind of see you see I was going to say California Scream, and it's not that. It's the Incredicoaster there. Is that roller coaster, and you see the Silly Symphony swings, and then you see the hotel that's right behind it. So it looks like it's really close, but it's not really close. I'll show you on a map. But
Perfect.
yeah,
So while you pull that up, let's talk about food. So food options here, they have a self-service market.
they have like nothing right now because they're changing it. So
Yeah.
literally everything's closed.
And then the other two that are currently closed is they have a Surfside Lounge and the Sandbar. But again, like Kate said, everything is being shifted and those are currently closed. So they currently just have a self-service market available at this hotel. And their pool, unfortunately, at the moment is unavailable.
Yeah, it's on the roof too, which is it's
Ooh.
actually was a pretty neat looking pool, and I had concept art for what they're changing it into, and I don't know if I have it, but this is what the pool looked like before the renovations, and I imagine it's closed because it's cold season, and they're also renovating it into this Pixar themed everything. So that's what the pool looked like, and this is some of the concept art for what it's going to become. So it's just getting a little facelift. And this is kind of the Pixar in the lobby, I think, concept art for that, for what it will look like. Mm-hmm. They do say you can go get food at the Grand Californian, which is a little walk away. I
Not
was trying
super
to pull the map
convenient.
for that. No, it's that's
Downtown
kind of their
Disney
way.
is probably a better bet for
Yeah,
you.
well, so you can see the blue one at the bottom is the Paradise Pier.
Yeah.
And so then if you see, it's quite a bit of a walk because this is, all the way up to the Grand Californian. And then if you go above the Grand Californian is where downtown Disney is.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a hike, and there's no entrance to the parks down here on this road at the bottom.
Yeah.
So you have to walk usually
up and
through
around.
You can go through the Grand Californian to get to California Adventure, but otherwise you have to go up and around, to get to Disneyland. And you could take the monorail if it's not too busy, but it's a hike. It's a hike. I'd say for its price and what you get, it's a good thing they're renovating it. I'm hoping it will be much, much better. I would say I never recommend it to people just because it's so far away. I'm like, you might as well just stay somewhere on Harbor Boulevard that's a nice place and walk a whole lot
Closer.
less.
Yeah, so those are your two transportation options. You're either walking up and around or through, like Kate was mentioning, or the monorail to Tomorrowland. And again, that California Adventure entrance through the Grand Californian is there as well.
Yeah, and I'm seeing also John Day is saying they're adding an entrance for Pixar Pier, which I did hear that too. And so I don't know when that will be available. I'm guessing, whenever they finish these renovations, maybe in 2023. Okay. Unless
Hopefully.
It's like Tron and it'll be in 5 years, so we'll see.
Don't
you never know.
Speak that into existence, Kate.
Let's
Kate
get off my back. I still probably wouldn't stay there.
Kate is now responsible for that entrance not opening for 5 years.
Oh gosh. No, let's hope not. Let's hope it is a speedy
Yes.
construction, especially because that's pretty miserable for anybody who's staying there to have all that construction noise.
Yes.
So let's hope they finish it quickly.
So best rooms, park facing rooms. So it looks like about half.
Yeah, because like half of them face the parks and about the other half don't.
Face the opposite direction. Right.
You can see a nice view of Anaheim from the other side.
Yay.
Yeah, and so I would recommend if you're going to stay there, try to get a park view facing room, and higher up is probably a little bit better just so you can see into the parks and see all of the things. And it is really interesting to get a park view room because you can watch what they do at night, when the park's closed, and watch all the cast members do all the things.
True.
When we stayed at the Grand Californian, we watched them replace light bulbs on or something with the big Mickey
that.
on the wheel, on the fair, I want to say Mickey Fun. I have all the old names in my head. So all the Pixar Pal Around, I think is what it's called now.
I'm like, right. It's what everyone refers to as the Wheel of Death. That's all I ever see
the Wheel
it
of
called.
Death.
So I don't ever know what it's actually called. Because that's what everyone, I feel like, calls it. So, but that's interesting.
Yeah, the Wheel of Death. Yeah, we watch them replace
Holly
things
says
on
the
that,
Wheel of Death, exactly.
Wheel of Death. That's how we all know it as.
Yeah,
I'm like, what is it actually called?
Yeah. So let's see, what else do we have on here?
Well, so one of the biggest complaints about this hotel also is that the elevators are super slow, and there's one main bank of them for the whole hotel, so it can take forever to get up to your room or down from your room, and especially if you're not willing to walk up the stairs for a whole lot, or if you've got a stroller and things, that's just maybe not the best option. I hope that they figure out a way to fix that, but I don't know if they can, because that's the main hotel structure, so I'm not sure if they'll be able to fix the elevators.
Go in and redo the motors, maybe?
Find another place to put in elevators, but I don't know why I don't even know if they could structurally. My guess is that probably won't get fixed with the renovation.
Probably not. But like Kate mentioned, very long walk to Disney. And then Kate showed that concept art for the Pixar theming that will be coming soon.
Yep.
All right. Did we make it? Are we at the end finally?
I think we did. That was a long deluxe adventure. Who knew there were so many deluxe? I knew, but I didn't know.
I did not. So if you missed any of our extended look at the deluxe resorts, last episode we started part 1. This episode is now part 2, which included Epcot area and Disneyland. So previous episode, if you're looking for Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Lodge Studios area resorts are there. Hopefully,
or if you just want to hear Jacque say her spiel about the rooms 20 times, just go back and have a listen again.
Or don't, don't is also an option for you.
I want to turn that into a rap. That would be really fun.
Oh no. I'm done.
You're one thing about me is I know all
that trend. One thing about me is I know all about the deluxe resorts at Walt Disney World. Oh man.
Oh gosh.
We've been talking about these resorts way too long.
I know it. Oh my gosh. That's great.
Well, again, if you missed any of our resort coverage, not only deluxe, but also we talked about moderate, we talked about value, we talked about off-property, all of the above, please check out our podcast and or our YouTube. All of our episodes.
Mom Street USA.
All of our episodes are on there at Mom Street USA. The link is in my bio if you're on my side, and Kate's bio if you're on her side.
I don't know where it is. It's up here somewhere.
Up here. So you guys can find the information there. Shall we talk about what is coming up next?
Absolutely.
Okay, so coming up next.
I hope you have that pulled up because
there we are. Yep. So coming up next, next episode, we are going to dive into Christmas. We are going to talk all about the Christmas parties and events that they have around Christmas time at the at both resorts, at Disney World, Disneyland, with hopes that we can give you guys some good information if you guys are headed that direction this holidays. So we are going to be jumping in and talking all about all things Christmas. So
That's exciting.
So excited. I love Christmas. Love Christmas. And then the week after that, Kate is going to be gallivanting in Disneyland. So we will have a special guest that episode, which is going to be, I have a feeling, quite an interesting episode because we've got Kirk on that episode. You know and love him from Walrus Carp. So Kirk will be on with me while Kate is in Disneyland.
It's
So
like
those
Mr.
are
Toad's
our,
Wild Ride. That's what that's going to be like. That's what it's like doing
oh
lives with Kirk.
goodness.
I love Kirk,
Yes,
but
yes,
yes,
we adore him. He's always here for a good chat about all things Disney.
he is.
Um,
He's very
so
knowledgeable.
yes, so we are excited for that. I'm hoping maybe for some good content, maybe from Mel as well. Whether or not she'll choose to be on is up to her.
That would be
But I'm
so great.
hoping maybe for some insight from her as well on kind of all things Disney. We're going to talk all hacks, snacks, and fun facts. Trademark Walrus Carp for that episode. So that is coming up. So the next 2 weeks are going to be some fun, very different from what we've been talking about, but very fun episodes with some good information for you guys.
And I think it's November 15th. So I'll be doing some lives that week, that second week, I think, of November, third week. I don't know. The one that has the
It's like
15th
the
in
second
it.
full week.
Second full week.
Yeah.
10 days from now ish, I'll be in Disneyland. I'll be doing lives from Disneyland, mostly talking about Disney history. So if that is something that you love, and also just going on rides and having some fun at Disneyland, I'll also be doing a day that is a 1955 Disneyland challenge. So I'll be living like it's 1955, partying like it's 1955 in Disneyland.
Kate's gonna party like it's 1955.
So I'm gonna do and eat only and shop only things that were there in 1955
So
and
fun.
or see this is what used to be here. So we'll talk about all the things that were there, not just opening day, but 1955. So a couple things that were even after opening day. So,
Yeah, so if
and I'll
you-
show some historical menus and things
Yeah,
like that.
so
it'll
if
be really
you
fun.
want to be there for that, make sure you follow Kate. And if you were following Kirk yesterday, he did basically an identical challenge for Magic Kingdom at Disney World.
I know, because I challenged him to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So that is, it'll be fun for those of us that were on that live, or we'll catch that YouTube, because I think Kirk has some YouTube that'll be coming out for that. We can compare the two, so that'll be super fun to see.
I told him I was mad because he didn't tell me who was going to do it, and I would have been on that live way more
Right,
had I known.
right.
And he's like, I don't know, it was last. I'm like, Kirk, come on now. Like, you
Everything
gotta
is
tell
last
me.
minute with him. Don't we know this already?
I
Oh, my
know, but
word.
still, I was like, as soon as I saw it happen, I was like, of course I missed that day. That was like the day I was writing. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
anyway, so I'll be doing a
Anyways.
live from Disneyland. I'm also the Pocket Fam. My lovely Pocket Fam gifted me with a Walt Disney apartment tour. So I'm going to go live probably after the tour because I can't do it during, and just kind of give the highlights of it and maybe some things that I learned and walk down Main Street. So
So
we'll get to do
excited
that.
for you
Yeah.
to do that. It's
I
going to
know,
be
me
so
too.
great.
It's really exciting. And I have tomorrow, noon is when the cutoff is for it, but I'm giving away on behalf of my, I'm partnering with National Geographic to give away some of these beautiful 100 Disney Adventures of a Lifetime books that really have a lot of not only adventures from around the world, but they also have a lot of history and fun facts about Disney. And I always like to say everything connects back to Disney, and this book I feel like is really like the proof of that. So it's just a beautifully done book by one of my favorite authors, Marcy Caricka Smothers, and it has a foreword by Joe Rohde. And so I get to give away 2 of these. And so the way to enter for that is in my Instagram for Disney Cicerone. And you only have till tomorrow at noon, and then I'll be doing before our Dis Story live with Kirk tomorrow night at 5:30. At 5 p.m. tomorrow, I'll be here live doing a drawing for that. So if you haven't had a chance to enter, make sure you do before noon tomorrow, because you
Yes,
don't want to
and
miss
as
out.
always, you can find all of our links in our bio. Our Mom Street links are there. If you haven't popped over to follow our Mom Street accounts, please do so. We're trying to, grow those so that way we can eventually go live straight from our Mom Street account and kind of alternate through that. We would love it if you subscribed on our YouTube, follow us on all of the socials everywhere that
We
we
appreciate
are.
it. It helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So trying to, get our content out there to help more people plan their trips and just, put
To build
the
this really fun
information
community
out there
of
and
parents
build
and people who want
build
to
our
do Disney
community.
better.
And we have such a great support system with Pocket Fam, but we'd love to extend that out too and bring more people into Pocket Fam. If you don't know what Pocket Fam is, it is our group of people that follow our little group of streamers, and you can find more of Pocket Fam on the Discord, which again, link in bio, that Walrus Carp Discord, that is Kirk, who will be on our show in 2 weeks. It is his community that he has grown through his TikTok and his clothing company. So check that out as well. If you're looking for some fun theme park merch, he's got everything you could possibly want. If you're looking for Mom Street merch, you can check, you're good. You can check that link in the bio as well for Kate's website, DisneyCicerone.com. Kate is modeling our thing, and I'm trying to flip and my Enhance is broken. It won't even load. But we've got stickers. Like I'm clicking it and it's not doing anything. I'm like, oh, this is cool. So we've got our Mom Street stickers. And then Kate is modeling our shirts. We've got shirts, short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, and hoodies available. Again, we appreciate your support. The money that we make off of all of our merch goes straight back into giveaways and things for you guys that we've done. If you've missed our giveaway so far, we've given away a pair of Light Up Epcot mini ears. We've given away a Zero popcorn bucket, which Kathy, did you get your popcorn bucket? You're back from Disney now. I need to know, make sure, send me a message. Just want to make sure it got to you since you were out of town at Disney whenever it came. And we've got more upcoming giveaways hopefully to come. But
again, I might have to see if I can grab something from Disneyland that we could give away this Christmassy, because who doesn't love a good Christmas merch, something or other? So I'll go shopping with my friend, Disney.Serotonin. She's great at shopping. So I'll just pair up with her and see if I can find something that everybody would like.
Again, so all of the money that we make off of this goes straight back into the giveaways for you guys. We're just so appreciative of your support and your following. So we just want to give all that back to you guys.
Absolutely. And we're really thankful, like we always say it, but we always mean it. We're so thankful of your guys' presence here, for being part of the community, for participating in the conversation and asking questions, and also adding your tips. I really appreciate all of that, because it just makes us all better when we contribute information that the other people might not know, because none of us know everything about Disney. I think we're stronger together. So thank you for being part of our community in that way and contributing, and we appreciate it. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah. And if you've got input or you've got questions or things you want to see on future episodes, we've got a Discord channel that you can put information in. You can always message us on Instagram or TikTok or Discord. You can email us at momstreetusa@gmail.com. All of those are good ways to get a hold of us, and we will do our best to help you out with whatever you are looking for.
Yep. I
think that's it.
That's it.
We did.
That was plenty.
It was plenty. Thank you to those of you who hung out with us all evening. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to us gab and throw numbers out left and right. Again, very appreciative. Yes. And make sure you tune in to enter Kate's giveaway. Tune into her lives tomorrow night to find out who wins the books and to hear more history information with her and Kirk.
Yeah, we're still talking about the history of Pinocchio, and we're using a lot of historical documents from WED from the 1980s, talking about the different scenes in the ride of Pinocchio. So, cool. So you won't want to miss that. It'll be really fun. Plus, always probably maybe a lively debate about Michael Eisner. So we'll see.
I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. It's going to be great. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you, and everyone have a fantastic night.
Bye, guys. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.